Hello everyone, Ben here, and welcome to another swing state analysis. This one for the state of Virginia. Currently, I'm living in this area right here, which even though I'm originally from, if we go all the way back from this area, though I've truly, to be quite honest, I've bounced around the South, but I consider myself from Georgia because I graduated high school there. Currently, I'm living in this area, though that is going to change in the next year or two. I'm looking in Tennessee, and other areas, just because of change of scenery I want. Anyway, so the reason why I'm showing it by this pretty ugly view, to be quite honest with you, is because, well, this is just to show you that Virginia is kind of weird. It's got this kind of blue area and these blue areas. It's got this traditional Republican stronghold, though it's much less Republican than it used to be. And of course, we've got Northern Virginia, which kind of pushes the entire state to the left, even though, as you can tell by land area, you would think it'd be a deep red state. But that's because these areas don't have a ton of people. If you look at it, 27,000 voters, 30,000 voters, actually 39,000, 40,000 voters essentially. Not even 1,000, well, okay, not even 2,000 voters in this county. It's a pretty small state if we're not small state, but this area is a pretty red area. It'd be pretty interesting if this state, if this area kind of from here on to the west split off and formed its own state. And that wouldn't be the first time Virginia split into two separate states. Technically, Virginia used to include Kentucky and West Virginia. Yeah, think about that. But, anyway, moving back. But Virginia's evolution into a blue state, mainly because of Northern Virginia and how these areas, this area has moved away from the Republicans, and despite this area's deepening Republicanification, basically this area becoming a lot more Republican. Also Pennsylvania, that's hilarious. It's a story that starts, I'm going to say, in 1988. Super deep Republican, as you can see, very Republican areas, but Virginia especially so. Very Republican state. And, well, if we go to 1992, we see it's so Republican that it doesn't even vote for William Clinton, for Bill Clinton. And, that just goes to show, just how Republican it was. I'm going to exit out of that map. And now if we go on to the next election, it's so Republican again. It doesn't vote for Clinton either time. And then we go into 2000, and it votes for Bush by a significant margin. It's under 10%, but it's not really close. It's kind of like Colorado, to be quite honest with you. Actually, Virginia and Colorado kind of follow a very similar path. And if we go to 2004, you can see that. Virginia still more than 5% margin of victory for Bush. It's comfortable. And Colorado has kind of moved a little more to the left. But Virginia is still Republican. And moving to the next election, all of a sudden, Barack Obama wins it by more than 5 points, and it shifts very suddenly to the Democrats. You know, part of that's because it was a year that Democrats could have been expected to win by very wide margins. And we see that. And we see that, you know, West Virginia is drifting the other direction, but, you know, we see that Virginia is shifted very much to the left, and a lot of people, and, it shifted a little bit towards the right in 2012, but it was still within 5 points for the Democrats. And then we move to 2016, and we see that it's moved back to the left. Now, part of that may have been because of Donald Trump, and it is a true swing state, but I think this was the final year that we could truly call it a toss-up or a battleground state. You know, if we look at it, Clinton won by 5.5%, which is a little over 200,000 votes. And she's getting them in Fairfax County, Prince William County, Loudoun County, winning them in Norfolk, Portsmouth, Suffolk County, Sussex County, Surrey County, Greensville County, Brunswick County. Well, okay, these are smaller counties, but still, she's getting them in Richmond, and really the Democrats are getting them in Richmond, Henrico County, Norfolk, Portsmouth, again, Fairfax County, not City of Fairfax, Prince William County. Not really Manassas, but Loudoun County this year, which has traditionally been more of a toss-up county. But, oh yeah, don't forget Arlington and Alexandria as well. And that's the story of Virginia. It's really a story of two Virginias. Or, well, three Virginias, to be quite honest with you. It is a story of three Virginias. Because historically, Virginia Beach has been a Republican stronghold. Chesapeake has helped as well in that regard and made this part of Virginia really a toss-up part of Virginia. Virginia split into 3 states with Northern Virginia in this area, Western/Appalachia Virginia, I don't know what you call this, let's call it Franklin just for argument's sake, and the Tidewater area. You'd have 3 different states. You'd have a reliably Democrat state up here. You would have a very Republican state here, akin to West Virginia, and you would have a toss-up state in this area, in the Tidewater area. So it's one of those weird states where you look at it and you say, okay, well, what's the story of this state? This vote's more Republican than this area votes Democrat, but this area has a much lower population. And this area is kind of a toss-up, but it's been trending towards the Democrats to a degree, and it has a population between, Northern Virginia and Southwest Virginia, So, it is a swing state, but at the same time, it's not really. For the Republicans to actually win Virginia these days, I honestly think they have to win the nation by about 4 points. They'd have to win the nation by about 5 or 6 maybe even 7%. Though my analysis says that in 2020 they're going to vote for the Democrat by only 2% more than the national margin. Because the shift has been a bit negligible, but not really. Because Clinton won the state with, as you can see, 49% of the vote, and I rounded down. And as you can see, she won by 48%. Actually, it shifted to the Democrats by about 1 point every year. So she won 48% of the vote. She did about 2 points better. But I rounded down her vote total, and I did this for Trump as well, as I rounded down his vote totals. And so that's going to be about 1 point, and I said they're going to win it by about 2 points. So maybe I should have said about 3. Maybe I should have said about 3. So in a 50-50 election, expect the Democrat to have 52%, 52 or 53%, and the Republican of the two-party split, and the Republican to have 47 or 48 again of the two-party split, or if only Democrats and Republicans can run, which is obviously not true, as the Libertarian candidate got 3%. I'd say about 2% would go to Trump and about 1% would go to Clinton. Simply because that's the reality of Libertarian voters, is they agree more with Republicans than Democrats. So where am I going to put it? Well, I am going to put it as leans blue. Simply because in a 50-50 election, it will be within 5%. So, though I do honestly think it's going to be extremely difficult for Democrats to win this state in future elections, or not Democrats, it's going to be really easy for Democrats to win this in future elections. It's going to be extremely difficult for Republicans to win this state in future elections, which is simply the truth, based off of, how it shifted in the past and how the Democrats keep getting bonuses, or not bonuses, but, they keep getting benefits from demographic shifts, as well as just the general truth of the matter that this is becoming a state that prefers Democrats to Republicans. The Northern Virginia suburbs, they don't vote Republican anymore, mainly because the Republicans aren't really appealing to the college-educated population of the state, or the massive immigrant population, which that's not to say they can't in future elections. It's just going to be a very different, they're going to have to do it in a much different way if they still want to maintain some form of conservatism. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and the next video will be Maine, the state of Maine. And that'll probably be next week. And I'll kind of go and I'll talk about the order I'm going to put them in the next few weeks. So it's going to be Maine, then New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I'm not even considering Indiana swing state. I don't know why that was listed there. But Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. Going to go Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. And again, I don't really consider these battleground states, but some people have considered them battleground states. I don't particularly understand why, but whatever. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.